Kyle's dad. This is Sifu Larry. Let's give him a hand. I thought it was 40 years, 47 years in Hung Gar Kung Fu. And he's become a real good friend to all of us and to the school. And helps to make us a little more well-rounded. So he's got some nice things in store for us, you can see. So I want to, again, thank you and we'll let you get going.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here. This is an honor for us, for myself and Kyle, to be able to do this and talk a little bit about the martial arts and the origins and history. Once again, thank you to Sifu Chris for having us. Sifu Chris, we appreciate this.
I love it.
Very, very, very much. We'll go first a little into the history of how all this came to be. There was a monk back around 300 A.D., Bodhidharma, traveled from India to China on foot through the mountains, okay? Because he desperately wanted to become part of the Shaolin Temple. He had heard about the Shaolin Temple and the monks and what they were doing, and that was he believed his fate in life. So he took this trek, got there. When he got to the temple, the monks didn't think he was worthy, and they didn't let him in. So he sat and stared at a wall for 9 years. In the 9th year, the monks came out and said, okay, you can get in. They took him in, and he became a Shaolin monk. He noticed some things about the monks. He noticed that they were kind of sickly, weren't in the best physical condition, so he took it upon himself to write a couple of books. One of them became the basis of what we know of the martial arts today. It was about the physical. The other was a very spiritual book. That book got lost. But the original book on the arts, apparently, is still today saved on parchment scrolls in the temples. And he taught them, basically, how to exercise, and then what became exercise became defense, and then became weapons. And that development took hundreds of years. It was passed on. The Shaolin monks became, in China, kind of like what the Knights Templar were to Europe. It kind of became the police force. They handled things in China. China, if you know anything about Chinese history, wasn't a united country at all. It was a bunch of warring states, and there were lots of disputes. Well, the monks used to come down from the mountain, some mountain, and settle those disputes. Their favorite weapon was the staff, so you can see us do a little staff work today. And when they came down and talked and settled the dispute, it was over. They feared the monks. They were very good. And then the monks went back up and prayed and did what they did. So a lot of great history there. And that lasted till about 1644. 1644, the Manchurians got the idea that they wanted to run China. The Ming Dynasty, everybody's probably heard of, oh my goodness, that's something from the Ming Dynasty, a vase or a vase from the Ming Dynasty. Well, the Ming Dynasty was a very revered dynasty in China. The Manchurians basically came in and overthrew it. And they installed what is known as the Qing Dynasty. Once that occurred, they had a choice of going to the temple, because they knew the monks were very powerful, or not, and they did not. They were scared of them. Stayed away probably for about 100 years. 100 years. Finally got up enough nerve to go up there and go after the monks. The monks saw them coming, saw so many of them, they said, this is not a good fight. So the monks fled. When the monks fled, they fled to all parts of Asia. They went to Japan, they went to Korea, they went to Okinawa, they went all over the place. And you can see the influence of Kung Fu in a lot of the other arts. If you trace history on a lot of the other styles roots, a lot of the styles roots came through Chinese roots of Kung Fu. Kempo, one of the reasons why I love Kempo so much. My son is a black belt in Kempo, and my son Aaron also is another black belt in Kempo. As you can see the roots are there. It's amazing the similarities and the circular movements and the animals. Just, like I said, it's an amazing journey to go on and see all this and how it fits with all the different styles. So that's the basic history. I don't want to go too much into it, because we probably want to do a little Kung Fu and show you some things. But good stuff, good stuff. And for parents who are here and your children, if you have them in the arts, it's one of the greatest things you can do for your kids. Hands down, one of the greatest things you'll ever do for a child is get them into the arts and get them into the arts early. It's going to teach them great things, self-respect, it's going to teach them discipline, it's going to teach them focus. They actually become better students in school typically when they take on the martial arts. So always recommend that to your friends, family. If you've got people you want to get into the arts, please do it. It's one of the best things you'll ever do with people. So I think the first thing Kyle and I are going to show you is something that the monks used to do with the staffs. It's a two-man set from Kung Fu Hungar. A lot of energy there.
Cow.
Can you guys go that way? Can you turn that way and do it so that we can see from this way? Oh, you have to use the mirror? Okay.
Well, you can see through here.
Okay.
Difference in the sword styles. Kung Fu has, whereas there's a lot of stabbing in some of the styles, this style is more fluid with cuts. So you'll see the sword swinging a lot. I'm going to do it facing you so you can see a little better. That was actually an original form that was taught on Kempo in the Tracy system. Of course, being the Parker system, much closer to American Kempo. We're going to do a form now in Kung Fu known as the longhand form. Styles are different in China. Southern styles developed differently from the northern styles. Northern styles, people were taller. Southern Chinese were shorter. More kicking in the northern styles. Southern styles, more handwork. The style that I've learned is a southern style. It's called Hungar. So I'm going to do what is known as the longhand form. One thing that the Hungar forms do, they use a song. So you heard me screaming a lot. It's called a song. Some forms we do it, some we don't. Fewer we don't, more we do. I'll try not to scare you in the next one. Okay, good. All right, let's do. I'm going to try a little self-defense. Show you some techniques with Kyle.
I'm waiting.
All right. Some of the blocks that you'll see us do, a lot of the blocks, are open-handed blocks. So in Kung Fu, typically like this. Open-handed. We like open hands because we like to grab things. So once we come around with a block, we'll typically try to take control of the arm. Okay, there's a block that you might have seen us doing here like this. It's called a cut block. I had a guy once actually tell me in a tournament we were in, he says, "What is that for? What does that do? What are you doing with that?" I said, "You want to see? I was going to do a front kick."
It's okay, Mom.
Just the leg, step, over.
Wow.
That's all it is, simple technique. Up goes the leg, and you can raise the leg as high as you'd want. Ever seen the video with Victor Marks in the elevator? Ever seen it on YouTube? Look it up. Very similar. He does the cut and gets underneath the guy's leg. And actually has, I don't want to put Kyle through this, but has his arm on his throat, his leg up here. All right? So cut, under, and over. Okay, that was it. All right, now, typical street fight. Let's see, we'll make sure we do a little on the camera here. Actually, you know what? Let's do it at an angle so that everybody can see. Here we go. Kyle's going to punch. Typical bridge block is here. We can block this way, punch again, push block, rising block. All right? 5-star. 5-star roots right here. Up, down, sideways. If he throws something low with a kick, sweep. Okay? Down. Okay? Sweep. This is called the snake. We'll talk about the animals in a couple of minutes. All right? This is the snake. So Kyle does a punch again. Here. Grab, control, across, down, natural arm bar. Okay? Natural arm bar. That arm's not going anywhere. Once you've got him here against his throat, across the chest, this is where all the pain is. Understand something, when you put people into arm bars, all of this brain's focus is going to be on this. You're not thinking about, and Bob knows this, Bob's jiu-jitsu also, black belt in jiu-jitsu. You're here, there's pain. People, oh, he's going to hit you with the other hand. Right. There's so much pain in this elbow right now, everything's focused on stopping that pain. Okay? Okay, another one. Punch. Yep. Smother. Chin, neck, chin. Okay, do it again real fast. Replacement, hand replacement is pretty quick, just like is it in Kempo.
Yep.
Same concept. One hand follows the other. Okay, let's do crane, punch. Crane strike. Okay, crane uses the wrists. Crane will use the wrists, crane will use the beak. Okay, and we'll start talking about the animals now. 5 animals. Tiger. Leopard. Tiger. Leopard. Come on in, buddy. Crane. Crane uses wings to block. I'm going to show you that little demonstration with Kyle in a second, what crane does. All right, crane. Snake. Snake. And dragon. 2 powerful fists coming out. Dragon is considered the most powerful of all the animals in China. Same thing I'm pretty sure is true in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, the dragon. The dragon is the power of the 5 animals in the 5 animal system. That's the power. Tiger, very powerful. Leopard, very quick. Snake, very fast. Crane is just, crane, a lot of the crane movement is the basis of Wing Chun. So Jeet Kune Do has its roots in the crane movements. Right? So that's where that comes from. So if Kyle, for instance, were to throw a punch, there's a crane block. Notice how the elbow is here to protect.
Oh, shoot, I'm not getting that.
You can also use the elbows to block punches. Hurts like a son of a pup when you hit this big bone. Okay? This bone is one of the biggest bones on your body. But to use it as a weapon, that's what the crane likes to do. So here, okay? You'll notice one thing in Kung Fu too we like to do, we like to stretch the opponent out. As opposed to having him erect and blocking here and doing a punch. One of the things we love to do is this. Kung Fu. Kung. Kung. Fu. Kung Fu.
It's a little different.
But what does it mean?
She's Japanese, so she's
Energy and time. That's all Kung Fu means. Energy and time. How much effort you put into something and how long you do it is what's going to make you good at what you're doing. It is said that a great pianist in China has good Kung Fu. That's all Kung Fu means. America kind of adopted it back in the 60s when Bruce was rising to fame. What is this Kung Fu stuff? Oh, it's those arts that he does. It's Kung Fu. The actual term in China for the war arts is wushu, commonly referred to as wushu. But Kung Fu became so popular that even the Chinese have adopted it. So the meaning has been stretched into meaning the martial arts. Okay? So it's energy and time. Energy and time. And I can't impress on you enough, especially for our younger students who are here. You work hard at this. You work hard at it. Work hard at it all the time. That's what's going to make you good. When you're blocking it, Sifu Chris is teaching you how to block. Yeah, let's block. Is it going to stop anything? Probably not. So when you block, that's how you got to work. When you want to be good at the martial arts, you got to put that effort and energy into it. Because especially if you're training that way, that's the way you'll react on the street. Worst thing that happened to me, I trained my block. I punch. Not gonna work. When Kyle punches, Now, punch. The block has got to be as fierce as a punch. Okay, as fierce as a punch. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about that's pretty much a 3/4 inch pine board. Yeah, don't worry.
We usually do this outside.
Hey, so easy a child can do it.
So easy a child. You'll notice I held it like this, and Kyle gave it a whack. Okay? Okay? Notice how easy that's coming. Okay? It doesn't take a great deal of force when you learn the technique and the control. Okay?
Yep, he's trainable.
It's training. This is one-handed. Without the other side being propped up, without the other side being stabilized. It's the technique. Martial arts will teach you that technique. Kung Fu, you learn it. It's called a snap. All right? That snap has a lot of power. It delivers power. If I go to punch Kyle, I'm hitting for a target here. I don't hit all the way through. I'm hitting a little way through, and then I'm pulling out like it's hot. Like it's hot. Get your hand off it. What that does is it delivers power this direction. Very little recoil into the hand. In. Very little recoil. So you learn that technique. That snap. That's what gives you control to be able to do that to a board. So let's get somebody up here. And we're going to show you the hand slap and see if we can do this, all right? There we go. All right? All right.
Hey.
Nice job. All right, we need another round up here.
Right on,
All right, we
buddy.
gotta get two. We gotta get two. Get another one up here. There we go.
Representing the ladies.
Representing the ladies. That's right, Celine. We gotta represent the
Yep,
ladies.
gotta represent the ladies. You guys could go to the side a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she makes
Yeah.
Right.
Hey!
Not bad. Good job. Yeah. The fun stuff, right? Ready? You know what to do. We did it before. Yeah. Good job.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Okay, now what we'd like to do next, we're going to cover a few more things, but I wanted to get anybody who's interested in coming up here, students who are dressed, if you want to come up, we're going to show you some basics that we go through in our stances. And we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to put you into the horse for a little bit, just a very short period of time. Just so you get the feel for what Kung Fu is like, okay? So why don't we come up? Anybody want to join us?
If I get to ride a horse,
You get
Come on. Come on.
Pony ride.
Okay, so just make straight line across, maybe 2 lines. Okay, good, very good, very good.
Right.
Now with the horse stance, you've seen it
I'm gonna
before.
have to join in a little
Kung
bit
Fu, what
here.
you're gonna do is you're gonna plant your feet straight. Straight. You're gonna bend at the knees.
you don't want to
You're
get
gonna push the knees out. It's gonna feel real awkward, guys. You're gonna push the knees out. You're gonna pull the feet in. So knees go out, feet go in. Right. You're gonna chamber these. You're gonna put them right here. Now we're only gonna stay here for a minute. Okay? Let's see if everybody can do this. This is great exercise, especially for the inside muscles, all the way down. Develops all those muscles so you can get into low stances. Right? Low stances when you're doing Kung Fu. Stinks, don't it? It's okay. It's okay. I'll tell you a story in a second. You're gonna go, oh my goodness. All right. This this horse stance. In China, when you learn martial arts, they put you in the horse, first 6 months, this is all you do. You don't even throw a punch. You're 6 months in the horse, just training the stance. They're so believing in the foundation. That's how they train. Everything's on fire, isn't it? That's right. Everything's on fire. 10, 5. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, stand up. Good. Good job. Good job. Right. Now we're going to go into what is known as a front horse. Right? So left foot forward. Left foot forward. This foot's back, and it's at about a 45-degree angle. Right. You're going to bend that front knee. There you go. You're going to bend that front knee. Once again, it's foundation. You're trying to get good foundation. Anytime you fight from a foundation, you're always better off than fighting straight up, right? Straight up, here, I'll give you the example. Stand straight up. Put your arm out like this. Good. No balance. Front horse, like I just showed you. Left foot forward, bend the knee, give me the fist. There you go. That's where you want to be. When you're fighting, you want to be rooted. You want to have foundation. Because if you're here, somebody can push you off balance in a heartbeat. When you're here, you're always good foundation, good principle, right? And you guys do that at Kempo. I see you come in a lot. Good balance, do your block, all right? That's where you want to have good foundation, okay? We're here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll wait for you, Lon, buddy. Now, chamber here. Left hand, block's going to go down, around, and out. And it finishes just like that. That's the bridge block, right? So back to here, down, around. Now watch when I do it fast. There you go. Here, here. All right, ready? Chamber, we're going to do a couple of blocks. Block! 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 Keep it out there. Punch! 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 Block! Punch! Block! Punch! Block! Punch! Block! Punch! Good job. Some basics. Classic bridge block, which is a standard block in Kung Fu, and then the punch. Punch is the classic corkscrew punch, right? We also throw what is known as the sunshine fist. It's a very popular punch in Kempo. It's straight up this way. And it's the Bruce Lee style of punch. Here, the arm's not corked this way, it's this way. You got a lot more strength from the bicep when you throw this punch. We've done that on the bags on Monday nights, for instance, with Kyle and Jan and company. Great punch to throw is this way here. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? We'll do a little more. So I'll do left front horse again. Left foot's forward. Good job. Left foot forward. Bend that knee. Okay, chambers. This time you're going to use your right hand. You're going to do a push block. Goes right in front. Back. 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 Good. Right, now this time we're going to do with the left hand a rising block. Good. Very good. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate with Kyle. Kyle's going to throw a punch. I'm going to do the rising block. Rising block is a beautiful block. You have the same rising block in the system of Kempo. The reason why you do the rising block, it opens them up. Open all the way here. Let me get this hand up here, right? This is a very dangerous spot. Okay, I want to warn you and caution you, very dangerous. So I want you to be very careful and aware of that when you're striking somebody. You want to try to stay away from that. Okay, ribs a good shot here, arm, knee, lots of things you can do. That's a dangerous spot, all right? Up. Up. Rising block. All right, a couple more rising blocks and we'll try one other thing. All right, so we're here. Rising. 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 All right, now this time, left hand, bridge. Good. Bridge. Good. Bridge. bridge. Ready? Punch! 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 Okay, now. Block. Push. Punch. Ready? Block. Push. Punch. Block. Push. Punch. And it looks like this. Okay. Block. Push. Punch. Block. Push. Punch. Try it. Block. Push with the other hand. Punch. That's right. Now you notice, one thing you notice, both hands are always coming and going. Right? Just like in Kempo. One weapon comes out, the other gets chambered for use. Back out, back in. Back out, back in. Block, punch, punch, block, punch. One hand always following the other. Right? So, last one. We're going to do a rising on this side here. Right hand. Good. Up. Up. I can see some people are getting the snap already. This is good. Up. Up. Okay. Good. Excellent. Thank you. All right, now I'll do a couple more things and then we're going to wrap up. We're going to also save some time for questions. So I know there's going to be some questions. We'll save some time for that. All right. Great job. Great job for everybody. Great job for everybody. Okay. Now, Bruce, everybody knows who Bruce Lee was, right? Bruce Lee was also another Southern style. Southern style is Wing Chun. Those were his roots. Bruce was a brilliant man because Bruce also, besides understanding Wing Chun, took a look at a lot of the different arts and would take the effect, what he would consider, that's a good piece, I want that piece, and combine things into this system that is known as Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do is a very, very powerful system. Sifu Chris does teach it here, so you guys will all be honored in learning it here from Sifu Chris. The Jeet Kune Do system, a lot of roots once again in Kung Fu. Thrusts are short, very short. Center line is the key that's got to be protected. Okay, so when Kyle does, for instance, a punch here, you've seen chain punches, right? They're attacking the center line. They're right in front. Very short distances. Okay. Wing Chun also uses punch, crane techniques. Okay, so you'll see the hands come across. Maintain contact. Up. Up. Okay. Now, we're going to do, in our system, in Hungar, we have this thing known as, you've seen Pooter. I think a couple of you guys have done Pooter. Right? No, we do a one-handed Pooter in Kung Fu. Right? I was going to throw a punch on that side. Actually, we're going to go this way first. All right, so punch.
Ooh.
Kyle's going? Yeah. All right, so it starts out with a block. Crane wing. Up. Wrap. Okay.
Wow.
So one side. Block. One of the reasons why we love open hand. Open hand loves to grab stuff, right? Here, and wrap. So I know there's a couple of students probably want to try that, right? You want to try that?
Jake
Want
does.
to try it?
Yeah.
Show you a one-handed Pooter, right?
Eric is. Go ahead,
One-handed
Eric.
Pooter. Okay, so Paul's going to throw the punch. Throws the punch that side. Yeah, here.
Oh man.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to throw at you. Okay? Block with that hand. Boom, crane wing it up first. That's it. Yeah, look at that. Wrap it. There you go. And I go right down. Okay? I go right down. All right? All right, let's try it. All right, I'm going to punch. Crane wing it first. All right, got it. You got it. Look at that. See how nice that works? All right, you try. Sure. I'm going to punch at you. You're going to use that side. Don't block here. That's it. Crane wing it. Yeah. You got it, buddy. Look at that. I go right through.
Oh, he even went in the stance. Right on.
Right in the stance too. Very good.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Okay, you wanna try it? Let's see, let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah, get a
Yep.
good crane. There you go,
Yeah, keep
okay.
go- Yep,
Yeah,
under.
That's it.
That's it.
You're right across, right across. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Good. There you go. Good job. Good job. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we got about 10 minutes. Seafood, Chris, about 10 minutes?
Oh,
Good?
As
10
long
minutes?
as you need, that's great.
Okay, cool. Okay, a couple other self-defense techniques. I'm going to do a little more history to them, talk a little more history. A couple other self-defense techniques. Kyle throws a punch. Okay, once again, we love to grab. We love to block this way and grab. Okay, here, same concept, which is hand replacement. Okay, for the step. Okay, and a clothesline. And it's the same as you do with your ridge here. All we're doing is up with the elbow right to the neck to knock the opponent out. Right? So the punch occurs. Okay, and over he goes. Simple arm breaks. Okay, hand goes here, pin up.
Mhm.
Okay, right to the elbow. First thing, pin the hand. Pin the hand. Worst mistake a person can make. Kung Fu, Kempo, etc., etc. Worst mistake that the opponent can make, the person that's attacking you, is put his hand on you. If he puts his hand on you, it's like lose the hand.
Mhm.
All right? It's mine now.
Mhm.
It's mine. All right? Boom. I've got the control. He doesn't. As soon as a person puts his hand on you, you take that weapon out, you've got the advantage. That elbow pops real easy once you step back and just pop that. All right? So it'll be over in a matter of a split second. So it's a simple technique. On it goes, up it goes. Just quick, okay? We have a movement in Kung Fu called the arm break. It's in one of our forms. The reason why in Kung Fu we do so many forms, I know about 32 forms, and we practice them all the time. All of our movements are contained in the forms. That's where we store them. It's kind of like our repository. So all the movements are in the forms. So we have an arm break movement. Starts out in the beginning of Sip Du Jung. Okay, that's the arm break. Now, how the arm break works, Carl's going to punch.
Ooh.
Okay, that's
Ooh.
all it is. So in regular speed without an arm there,
Whoa.
down and up. The reason why the hand stops here is because there's no arm there to be broken. That's why you stop the hand. Boom. Right? So, arm breaks. Okay, simple techniques, arm breaks. Do a push on this side here. Okay. Once again, pushes. Okay. Here. What's the great thing about making contact here? You got the joint. I can go this way, or I can go this way.
Yeah.
Right? Good. So, on goes the hand, down goes the elbow. Grabbing the head is an easy thing. Chin, back of the head. Wherever the head goes, the body will go. Wherever you turn this, the body's going with it. Right to the ground. Right? So I got to do it hard to count because I don't want to hurt my beautiful son's neck. So here, down, and spin. All right? Spin. Simple techniques. Kung Fu is as Kempo. Quick, short, efficient. A lot of the roots, once again, a lot of the roots all came from that monk that made it there and started preaching and doing what he did. So once again, simple techniques. Now, here, okay, two arms. Okay, and Kempo has similar techniques. Pins, down, up. All right, so down, up. When you're faced with an attacker and he's coming at you, he expects to stay here. He doesn't expect to be here in 2 seconds. He just doesn't. You have the element of surprise. You're trained. You're trained on how to get that body moving in directions he didn't think were possible. Same thing with the classic ridge hand. Ridge hand typically goes to this side. Kyle throws a punch, boom. I'm on this side of him. He can't fathom how he's getting hit over here. Just went there. How did that happen? The beauty of the martial arts. This is thousands of years of wisdom. Thousands of years of wisdom. Front grabs, butterflies. similar to flashing daggers,
Mhm.
all right? Butterflies. Butterflies. And plenty of strikes to be had. Plenty of strikes to be had. Now, one other concept I'll show you is, why don't you come here so we can get a little inside versus outside. Kyle throws a punch. This is inside. Okay. Lots of targets. He's got a weapon he can still use. So inside, the trade-off is I got more targets, target-rich environment, but I got to contend with this hand if it comes up. Outside. Tough reach me with that hand now. I'm to the outside. I got fewer targets, but I have more control. Much more control as far as countering him. One of our favorite moves, we like to use palms. Palms, by the way, too, if you ever get into a street situation and you got your fist, okay? Going high, I don't always recommend going high with the fist. Here. The reason being is when you go high with the fist, natural reaction of somebody, if they see a fist coming at him, is to duck and cover. And what happens is if I skip off these hands, I'm hitting the biggest bone in his body, his skull right here. I make contact with the knuckles here, you may take the weapon out, all right? Better movement to the head is the palm. The palm can take a beating and keep on ticking, all right? Palm will do just as much damage without sacrificing a knuckle. When you're coming to the body, clench the fist. Softer targets, okay, stomach, solar plexus, ribs. When you're going high, we go open. We always go open when we go high. Okay, it does just as much damage, and you'll save that weapon. Okay. Now, an example of that is when we do tiger. Let me do a tiger on one of these. Let me grab this one here. Okay, if Kyle goes to throw a punch at me, I block. Tiger. The tiger's designed to be ripping up, palm, and ripping down. So he punches. Tiger. This is tiger. Tiger comes from the ground, all the way up, through the hand, and into the jaw. All right? So tiger goes all the way. That power from the floor is what's going to literally break the jaw. Maybe you can take his head off.
And it's not easy to knock that down.
By hand. By hand.
Go ahead.
Reality is, that's what the tiger does. That's the power of the foundation. We talk about Kung Fu getting that rooting system. That's the power of the foundation that's coming up. Okay. Okay. Do you want to do any other forms? You want to try one? I'm going to do one more form for you, just so you can see it's a little quick one. We'll do one more form, and then we'll take some questions. This form is known as foot guard. You've probably heard in some cases.
Is this a good spot, Kyle? Is this a good spot?
With the Kung Fu context, the word gar. Gar means family. So Hung Gar was the Hung family. That's where the gar comes from, the Hung family. Toy Gar was the toy family. Foot Gar was the foot family. F-U-T as opposed to F-O-O-T. And I'll skip the song so I don't get everybody all shocked.
We like the song.
The song was nasty. Notice about the forms when we do the forms. What did you notice about when we did the forms? They're done pretty fierce, right? They're done pretty fierce. When we go to punch, it's like this. Go to block, it's like that. That's the way we train. We train it to make sure the movement works when we go to use it. Okay. Questions? Questions? That's a really quiet question. Really quiet
She
question.
asked, why are the rings on the Kwando?
Yeah.
We didn't talk
Yeah,
about
we didn't
those.
talk about the Kwando. All right, let's talk about the Kwando. We'll do the put out and the Kwando real quick. Thank you for saying that. Okay, General Quan Ti.
Wow.
General Quan Ti, very famous general in China. That was his favorite weapon, the Kwando. The reason for the rings is somebody would come at him with a spear. They use spears to attack. You catch the spear in the ring and control it, and control the spear away, and then attack. All right. The weapons were heavy back then in China. These weapons were heavy. This one was used for people. This was the horse cutter, Pu Dao. They'd ride at him in battle on the horses, and the troops would stand like this. You bury the weapon against the body. You get more control of the weapon with it tight than with arm strength. Out here it's flailing. Here's where you want it. So when you swing these weapons, this is how you swing them. Swing them tight. And they literally used to cut the horses down in battle, right at the knees. Horse would go down. Fortunately, you lose the horse, but the troops also fell off them, and they could be dealt with the spears. So this is how these weapons worked. We do a form here. I won't do it for you because it's really long and exhausting. 4 moves. We do one with the Pu Dao, and you have to do this form to pass your black belt test. And it takes quite a bit of time. And usually, Sifu Norm, after you've done about 10, 15 forms, he looks at you and he says, do the Pu Dao. And we've had guys literally run out of gas. We had one guy who got halfway through it, he fell over. He was excited. Everybody applauded him. He got back up. He finished the form. All right. Name is Black.
Yep. Wow.
So the Pu Dao is a great weapon. Once again, long weapons, just like the staffs are. The long weapons are meant to be swung tight. Notice when we swing it, you're keeping it always tight to the body. All right. You're here, 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 here. Okay, tight to the body. Okay. Other questions? Yes, Sifu Chris.
Sifu, if you could just kind of reiterate or expand on why you yell or do the song, because it's the same for our students.
Very good. Good
Especially
point.
for the
Yeah.
younger students that are coming up.
Yeah. One of the most important things you learn in martial arts is breathing. All right? Taking that energy in and then expelling it when you're hitting. That's the essence of chi. All right? The chi energy comes from being able to do that. The more you practice that, the more power you're going to get on your strikes. So when Sifu Chris tells you things like, where's the ki? Did you miss it? It missed you. You need to do it, right? Ki, very important because you're learning that breathing technique. In comes the air. Out goes the air. In comes the air. Out goes the air. It gives you the strength in the punch. It also gets that energy flowing in the body. That energy needs to flow. Chi is very important. Chi is very important. And for people who don't understand Chi, well, you know, it's a journey. You learn those techniques. I can tell you 2 things that the Chinese, Japanese always believed in. They understand the body. They understand the body mechanics. They understand the circulatory system. That's the blood, vessels, veins, arteries. And they understand the energy that comes on the nervous system. That's the Chi. Okay. And yes, there are techniques to drop an opponent by knowing where the chi and the meridians are. And you strike the meridians where they need to be struck, and it sends a pulse or a signal to the wrong spot, and they pass out on you. As you go further in your belts, and you learn this stuff, as you get more advanced, you will learn this stuff. When you're taught it, you have to be very aware that it's dangerous. So don't use it in kidding around. Oh yeah, if you're truly being attacked and somebody comes at you with a knife, and you need to defend yourself, yeah, that's when you employ something like that. You're going to learn how to drop somebody, all right? Drop somebody just by knowing where the chi points are and where you're striking. In China, typically that's referred to as dimmak. Dimmak is the touch of death. That's what they commonly refer to it as, okay? There's a whole science there, and it basically has to do with where all these points on the body are. What are the strike points? Just so people understand, you know, I don't believe in that. I've had one, I don't believe in that dimmak. Yeah, really? Hold still. Eyes flutter, knees get buckly, it's simple. I'll give you a real easy example. If you haven't seen, it's the funniest video you've ever seen on YouTube. Look up Karate Chop Pimp. You'll die laughing. You will die laughing, all right? You'll die laughing. This guy goes up, he's beating up his girl, okay? He shouldn't be. He's doing it across from a karate school. That's his first mistake, right? The instructor comes out and says, hey, will you stop beating on that girl? He's going to show him. Starts ripping off his shirt, goes at him. Okay, Kyle, come over here.
Rip off your shirt.
The karate instructor says, yeah. Whoop. Right across the karate. Knees buckle, he goes right down.
Wow.
What you're doing is you're cutting off circulation to the brain. Right here.
Wow.
It sends an air bubble right up here. Eyes flutter, knees buckle, you drop. You drop. It does exist. It does exist. Okay, and there's lots of points like that. That's what, as you learn martial arts, that's where you learn how to hit and where to hit. You don't have to hit them strong. Where are you going? Once you make that contact, body takes over. Yes, you had a question.
I was just going to ask how you go about practicing that.
That's something that you normally wouldn't, like, I try not to drop Kyle too often.
Not in front of mom.
In front of mom, yeah, not in front of mom. Yeah, never in front of mom.
It did sound sad.
Do it outside, it's okay, it falls in the grass. Justified. Yeah, it's something that you learn, I promise you this. That doesn't have to be, if you know the hit and where to make it, it's going to be effective. It will work because it's the body. It's 2,000 years of history. It's the study of the body. They know if you tap somebody here and if you don't, go on there and look, take a look. Take a look at those chops. You'll see people doing it to each other at parties and passing out. Why are you doing that? First of all, it's dangerous to do it because if the person's got a heart condition, you certainly don't want to do that to them. And you don't know his medical history. So why would, you're having fun. A couple of shots here, what's this? Boom. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. But in the martial arts, it's something that we learn. We respect it. We respect it. We don't use it lightly. We don't play with it. So it's.
So we're more focused on practicing the form.
That's right.
Cut it short.
The form and the technique, because the day's going to come when you employ it. It will work. It does. Look, I promise you this. Last story. It works. Kyle, tell them the story. What happened to you when the kid came up and you did the post?
Drawbridge, if the kids have learned drawbridge yet. A kid pushed me in the shoulder. I took it right to the head, right down, in the grass. I made sure we were not on concrete, but just a typical bully doing one of these, just doing one of these things. Like, what are you going to do about it? I heard you take karate. Let's see some of it. So I came in and just put him down. Just real easy. Laid him down. He was looking up at me, confused. I helped him back up, patted him on the back, he's gone.
Just like
Now, when that happens to you, what do you think happened at school? What do you think happened at school? Did word spread?
Ooh, don't mess with
like
Kyle.
wildfire.
Don't mess with Kyle.
Like wildfire. Like wildfire. Right? It's like, stay away from them. You're getting trained. This is the greatest thing, as far as I'm concerned, that you're doing. One of the greatest things you'll do with your life is learn this stuff and get trained. It's like I said, I've been at it for 47 years. I'm so honored to be able to be here today, especially with my son. It's an even a better journey, and one of my best friends now, Chris. Just thank you for having us. We appreciate it. If anybody does want to know, I am 61 years old. Kung Fu keep you young.
Kung Fu keep, yes.
Right? Kung Fu keep you young. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Sequel Chris, once again, it's been an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're all set.